You're listening to Online Pet Health Podcasts with Dr. Megan Kelly. Continuing education for veterinarian rehabilitation therapists. Learn more at onlinepethealth.com.
Hey vet rehabbers, today we're going to be talking about softwares for vet rehab practices and the benefits of having the right software. Now, I'm going to explore the difference between cloud-based softwares and softwares installed on your computer, what to look for in a software, and why having the right software can help your practice grow and run smoothly. So before we learn about the different softwares, if you have not already, please come and join us. We've got 4 Facebook groups that are called the Small Animal Vet Rehabbers, Hydro Vet Rehabbers, Equine Vet Rehabbers, and our Business Vet Rehabbers. Now, this is where the vet rehabbers hang out online. They share research, tips, and advice, and it's such a great supportive community. We'd love to have you online there with us. If you're interested in doing some vet rehab specific online webinars, you can sign up to our free membership. You can go to onlinepethealth.com/free. The Vet Rehab Summit is the largest online veterinary rehabilitation conference in the world. It provides a unique platform for veterinary rehabilitation therapists and professionals to come together, network, and learn from each other. This year's 7th conference will be held on November the 4th and promises to be an exciting and informative event. As an added bonus, if you are an Online Pet Health paid member, you receive free VIP access to the event. With over 3,500 people which were registered last year, this is an opportunity not to be missed for anyone interested in the field of veterinary rehabilitation. If you're an attendee, you can look forward to great online networking with fellow veterinary rehabilitation professionals and companies offering their products and services. You can find out more at vetrehabsummit.com. So let's chat now about the softwares. Now, when I had my clinic in 2006, I started with paper notes. And so we've advanced a lot since then. We're lucky enough now to have a vast array of softwares at our disposal to make life easier. Now, the benefit of a good software is that it saves you time, it prevents you from losing information, and is accessible on the road, which is great for mobile vet rehabbers and helps you stay organized. Now, I can remember many times in my practice where a client would come and my receptionist would say, "Sorry, can't find the file." And it was so frustrating for me because I was seeing so many different patients. I couldn't remember, everything, the measurements or anything. And so, if you have that all online, if it's on a software or on a computer, you don't have to worry about that ever happening. So the thing about softwares is one size does not fit all. So you need to look at what your needs are and find a software that works for you. Now, your choice will depend on what treatments you do, whether you're mobile or brick and mortar, and whether you do hydrotherapy or not, whether you need to integrate your software with other softwares you're currently using, such as accounting software. So we're going to go through some questions now, which should start making you think about the things that you need to ask if you're going to start choosing a software. So the first question is it cloud-based? Now, this is important because if information is stored in the cloud, you can log in from any device to access your notes and information. If it's not cloud-based, you can use the software only on one device and have a dedicated server. So for us, I think this issue is quite important. I think it really needs to be cloud-based. The cloud gives us a level of security. The information on the cloud cannot be lost. You may lose your computer, but you will never lose your data. So if you're not using cloud-based software, it's really important that you back up daily so that should something happen to your device, a virus, or maybe it gets stolen, you will have access to most of the content. If it's not cloud-based, the only benefit is that you don't need an internet connection to run it. So the next question is, does it have an app? Now, I think an app is useful, especially if you're a mobile vet rehabber, because you can use it on your phone or while you're out or even in the iPad in your clinic. So having to log in on an internet browser is maybe a little bit more cumbersome. But for me, this aspect is not really a deal breaker. It's nice to have, but I've recently learned a really cool tip on how to add an icon to your home screen on your phone. So the icon is like it's an app, but it actually then connects to your Safari or to your Chrome and logs in to that specific URL. So it's linked directly to that URL, and it's like you're actually on an app. You're just logging into that software. It might even be quicker to log in if you're able to use your face recognition. So this is how you do it. So I'm going to start off on an Android phone. So you'll go into Chrome on your phone and you enter the URL you want to go to. So whatever the software is. Then you'll click the three dots on the top right hand of the screen. And then you'll click on Add Home to Screen from the drop down. Once you get that, it'll pop up, it'll say Add Home to Screen. Then you can amend the name, so whatever it is. So you can say whatever the name of the software is. And then click Add. And that little icon then will come onto your home screen. So if you're on an Apple device, you can go into Chrome on your phone and enter the URL you want to go to. Then right at the bottom of the screen, there is a little sort of box with an arrow coming through it. You click that button and then you're going to click Add to Home Screen. So there'll be a whole lot of different things that you can do. And then basically that your icon from that URL, it's the little favicon that URL has, will basically go onto your home screen. So great tip and advice on how to add, and you can add anything. It doesn't even have to be software. So what I would advise is if you put Onlinepethealth's screen there, because we don't have an app with all of our content, but if you create one of these, you can easily access the Onlinepethealth learning. So the next question is, does it invoice? Now, this aspect is important if you don't already have an accounting software that invoices for you. I really like the idea of having everything in one place. So trying to integrate software is tricky and mistakes can happen. So having a single software is better when you're speaking to the clients and also wanting to see everything about them there right on the screen. So if there's clients there, everything's up there. You can see what they owe, when their appointments are, having everything on one screen. But some of the softwares don't offer invoicing. It's not a deal breaker if you've got somewhere else to do your invoicing. So the next question, can it take notes and can you annotate diagrams? Now, so I also want to know, can it load your own diagrams? So some of them have got diagrams, but a lot of these softwares now are not actually made for veterinary purposes, so they might be human ones. So that's tricky because then you get this human body. So you want to know whether you can load your own diagrams. So if you choose a software that does not have animal diagrams, you really must be able to upload your own. That would be a deal breaker for me because in my notes, I like to be able to annotate. I like to be able to draw, mark where the areas that are tension, the things that I am looking at. So the next question is, does the software create reports to send to the referral vets? Now, this one is a huge one for me. Vet reports take up a lot of our time and we know how important they are for our referral relationship. So in other words, you should be doing them. So if you're not doing them and you want to know how to write one and you don't have a software that creates it for you, you can go to www.onlinepethealth.com/vet report. And we actually have a PDF download on how to write a vet report. But hopefully you're going to buy a software that will actually do this for you. So if there's any software that's going to help me do these reports, because I can remember in my practice how long it used to take me, that's the one that I am going to choose. Now talking about time, because obviously these vet reports take loads and loads of time. So if you had a software that could create them for you, you'd be saving time. And this is an important point. When we're considering a software, we want to be aware of what time it's going to save us. So if you look at your time, let's say, for example, you charge $80 per hour for an hour consultation, okay? That means your time per minute is worth $1.33. So if a software is going to save me 30 minutes a week, that's $172 a month. So if you compare that to the monthly cost of the software, probably around $50 a month, it's a no-brainer. The software is worth it. So we often think, this is how much it's going to cost, but we don't ever think about the time that it's saving and what we could be doing in that time and what income we could be generating. So my next question is, can it integrate with payment gateways? Now this one really depends on how your practice accepts payments. There are so many different payment methods around the world, making it tricky to offer streamlined advice here. But the best way to find out which payment method is best for you is to see which ones are compatible with the software that you have chosen. So some examples are Xero, Square, PayPal, Stripe, and Apple Pay. So next question, can it be used to book appointments? Now this is nice to have. There are all sorts of software options that may be used separately for this though. It's a bonus to have all your bookings in one place. Some therapists like to book their own appointments, But remember, this takes time. Some softwares will allow the operator but not the client to book. And some vet rehabbers offer the first consultation online and then book follow-ups on behalf of the client. So they'll do the first one for them, and then any follow-ups they'll let the client be able to book. So you need to work out what's going to work for you best. Next question, does it have a schedule? Now, we all like to be organized, and it's great to have software that will both book your appointments and create a schedule. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to go in and at a glance see what your week ahead looks like. So you guys need to see what's important to you. So let's go through those again. So do you need to access it when you're on the move or potentially offline? So that would depend if you're going to be a web-based or cloud-based. Do you need an app? Do you need it to invoice? Do you need it to annotate on diagrams? Do you need to create reports? Does it need to book appointments? Do you need to see a schedule? And does it need to integrate with other payments gateways? Now, I want you to think long term now about whatever software you're going to choose. I know there's a lot to think about. I encourage you to think about where you're going with your practice. In other words, setting up your clinic for growth. Now, if you plan to grow and expand, will your software accommodate that expansion? It's really not worth using software that works now, but will be outgrown in 1 year. Also, it might be cost effective now because the software costs are calculated per user. But as you add team members, the price then may become exorbitant. You must also remember, if you start with one software and then you have to moving to another software can be an absolute pain. I know, I've had to do it. And it's something that's not easy. So rather go for the software that can accommodate your growth, even if it's just a little bit more expensive now. And I want you to think value for money, not cost. When choosing a software, we often look at the price and think, wow, it's just too expensive. I want you to look at it another way. Getting great software saves you loads of time, and we know how important that is. So how much time are you spending on your admin, and could your software help? Would that expensive software you're afraid of committing to now save you the cost of an entire admin person? Or perhaps the software will save your admin person loads of time, and you'll only need to pay them for 2 hours a week instead of 4. So we need to think about all of this, add it up, and work out, is it worthwhile to maybe purchase or sign up to the slightly more expensive software, but can actually do more things. You want to know, is it going to make your life easier? And what is that worth to you? Our practices can be really busy, and by making things simpler, software can get us working more efficiently and cost effectively. We may also have more time and energy to provide our clients with a better customer experience, and our customer's experience is vital for the growth of our practices. So when clients have a great customer experience, they refer friends and colleagues. So I know some of you wouldn't even think that the type of software you could choose would affect your word of mouth, but it does come down to this. So you want to reduce friction in your practice wherever you can, for you and your systems, and also for your clients. Online booking systems, SMS reminders, streamlined invoicing, and easy payment systems are all potential areas where you can excel in giving customers a great, easy, friendly, streamlined experience. So the most important thing is that the software needs to make your practice better. It needs to be better for you, for your team, for your clients, and give them a better customer experience. And when you get the right software, it'll be worth the expense. You also need to accept that you never get the perfect software. So some compromise is probably going to have to happen. Decide what your priorities are in terms of time and effort, and make a choice that is best tailored to your practice. So I spent a whole lot of time. I went through all the Facebook groups, all the questions about softwares, and I came up with the 5 most recommended softwares by vet rehabbers. And these are the ones that I also think are most suited to our profession, okay? Now remember, this is a personal choice, but having a look at these softwares, I came up with a whole lot of questions, and these are the ones that were most recommended. So they were WriteUp, Clinico, Shark, Jane App, and Acura Vet. So these are the ones that we're going to talk a little bit more deeply in. There were others that were not included in my top 5, but might suit some other people. So you should know about them. Veta, which is now called Day Smart Vet, iPoint Touch, Health Kit, now called Halaxy, Cavanti, Easy Vet, ProVet Cloud, Intake Q, Animal Log, and Equi Pro. And then I also found 2 apps which are just for note taking. So some of you might just want that. So if you just want to take notes, they are Evernote and ScribeNote. So if you're interested in all of these, and I know you're probably not going to remember everything that I've said, I have written a blog on this topic too. So you can go to the Online Pet Health page. I'll put the link to the blog in the show notes. You can go directly to there. Alternatively, go to the Online Pet Health website, go onto our blog, search software, and you'll be able to find this blog with all the links and also the lists of all these different types of softwares that I am talking about. So having selected the 5 most recommended by vet rehabbers, I played around on all 5 of them to gain a feel for their functionality in our field. And they're all really very different. Some are a lot more visually pleasing than others, but I try not to let looks sway me. So obviously the functionality is more important in the end, not how pretty it is. Right, so I created a table asking a whole lot of questions. So here are all the questions that I asked. So does it need the internet? Is it cloud-based? Does it send SMS reminders? Does it send email reminders? Does it have an app? Is it animal-based? Can it invoice? Can it create notes? Can you upload documents? Can you add images and annotate them? Does it have a schedule? Does it have an online booking system? Can it create vet reports? Can it integrate with payment gateways? Is there a trial period, and what is the monthly cost? Okay, so the first question, does it need the internet? So all of them except CuraVet is the only one that doesn't need the internet. So WriteUp, Clinico, Shark, and Jane app all need the internet. CuraVet was the only one that didn't. Is it cloud-based? So all of them were, except to CuraVet, which was cloud-based but also has web applications. Does it send SMS reminders? So all of them sent SMS reminders. All of them were able to send email reminders too. So does it have an app? The only ones that had an app was WriteUp, but a CuraVet has an app for tablets but not for smartphones. Clinico, Shark, and Jane app didn't, despite Jane app being called Jane app. I just realized that now. So is it animal-based? The only ones which are animal-based were Shark, which is vet rehab specific, and a CuraVet, which was veterinary. So WriteUp, Clinico, and Jane app are not animal-based softwares. Can it invoice? Yes, all of them can. Can it create notes? Yes, all of them. Can it upload documents? All of them. Can you add images and annotate them? Great, yes, all of them. Does it have a schedule? All of them. Does it have an online booking system? Now, all of them did except Shark. So basically, the only people that can make the bookings is the therapists themselves. But I know that they are working on getting an ability for the pet owner to be able to book their own. Can it create vet reports? The only ones that can are Shark and a CuraVet. WriteUp, Clinico, and Jane app can't. Can it integrate with payment gateways? All of them can except Shark. That's the only one, but with one click of a button, you can just mark it as paid. Is there a trial period? All of them had a 30-day period except Jane app. So that you weren't able to do a trial period, but there was a demo which you could have a look at. The monthly cost. Now, these prices are obviously, as of today, as I'm recording this podcast, if you're listening to this later on, these amounts might change. So the monthly cost for WriteUp is $24 for one user. Clinico, $45 for one user, and this is American dollars. Shark, $55. Jane app, $57, and a CuraVet, $69 for one user. Now you'll notice that it's separated into ones that are charged per user and the ones that charge per practice. So WriteUp, Clinico, and a CuraVet charge per user. Shark and Jane app, they do it per practice. Okay, so here follows my personal take on my top 5. So I divided into 2 categories: best for mobile vet rehabbers and best for brick and mortar vet rehabbers. So I've also added one that is best for note taking, and finally I make a judgment call on what I think is the best overall software for vet rehabbers. So let's start with the best software for mobile vet rehabbers. Firstly, if you are mobile, I do suggest that you invest in an iPad. You carry a SIM card and an Air Pencil with you. That way you're not limited by your internet receptivity and you can work both on and offline. So of all the people in your team, you are the one with the least time for admin. So the more time you can save, the better. So I couldn't decide for this one. So I'm choosing two. And I'm going to explain to the two differences between the two. So the best software for mobile vet rehabbers, I think, are WriteUp and AcuraVet. Now, each is suited to different scenarios. So WriteUp comes in at a lower price point at $24 a month per user, and it's great for those who are just starting out. So if you're on your own and you're just starting out, $24 a month, it keeps your expenses low, but that's just for now, all right? AcuraVet at $69 per user is the most expensive of the softwares I looked at, but it has got great features. It's a veterinary-based software and it ticks virtually all the boxes. The biggest benefit for me is that it's cloud-based and has a web application that you can use whether or not you're in the internet reception area. The biggest benefit for me is that it's cloud-based and has web application that you can use whether or not you're in an internet reception area. And this is really important for the equine people that sometimes go quite far out. So if you write your notes and you're in an area that doesn't have internet, what happens is they appear as you go back into reception. And that's where that comes in, that it's a web application and cloud-based. That's the benefit for AcuraVet. So it's also great for vet reports, which is also a huge benefit. So I think it's really great for the mobile practitioner. It's really just the price point that's a little bit high. So if you have the budget to be able to spend that kind of money, then you're going to have all those benefits. If you're a mobile and you're just starting out, you can use WriteUp. You would need to have internet with you though. The problem with the AcuraVet is that the price increases every time you add a user, and the same with WriteUp. So as you get more people, the increase is substantial. So it's really best suited to the lone operator. I think there are other softwares that would be much more cost effective for larger teams and if you're planning to expand. So that was one of the things we chatted about, is like looking to see where you plan to go, choosing a software that's going to work for you in the future. So if you're planning to stay mobile, great, AcuraVet might be perfect for you. If you're planning to go brick and mortar and grow your team, then you might consider one of the other softwares. So the best software for brick and mortar practices. Now, I chose Shark for this one, and I feel like Shark has all the features you'll need. They are working on allowing clients to book themselves directly, which will save you even more time. The only thing they don't have is an app, but as I mentioned, it's not a deal breaker, and you can use that thing where you add an icon to your home screen as a shortcut, and enabling you to log on really quickly. Shark has the added benefit of being the only software made for hydrotherapists and vet rehab therapists. Every thought has gone into what will make your life easier. And if you do acupuncture, you can load your own diagrams. Every update they make is especially for you, unlike with the other softwares where some of the updates might not benefit you at all. The best software for only note taking. So if you want a software to take notes, then I suggest ScribeNotes. So uploading documents, photos, radiographs is really easy, just with a few clicks. And it also works from your phone, which is really handy. It's really clean and simple to use. And as of this time now, as I'm recording this podcast, it is $29 per month. So while ScribeNote is probably only limited to note taking, I really like it, and I think we should keep an eye on it. They offer great customer service, and I think that they'll probably be expanding their features over the next few years. So let's go for the best overall software for every vet rehabber and size of practice. So as you can see, all the softwares have different strengths, and there are pros and cons for all. However, my mission was to select one that best serves vet rehabbers. So my choice is Shark. So once you get the software, you will never outgrow it or need to upgrade it. It has everything a vet rehabber needs, with the automated vet reports being its biggest plus for me. It can also create automatic veterinary consent forms, and I love that you can upload diagrams and annotate them. And for our hydrotherapy practitioners, you're able to track your water testing. On top of all of that, it's really cost effective for larger teams, and they have a 30-day trial period. So Shark has also kindly offered another 50% off your second month for the Veterinary Rehabilitation Podcast listeners. So if you want to sign up for that deal, try the 30-day trial period, see how it works for you. You can go to onlinepethealth.com/software, get your special deal where you'll be able to sign up for that extra 50% off on your second month, including your 30-day trial. So in the end, however, you need to test the softwares yourself. So they all have a free trial period except for Jane app, which offers a demo. And I suggest you write down what you are looking for in a software, taking into account your 5-year goals and how you think your practice might grow. You can follow the link in the show notes if you want to read more and check out the table of comparisons and the list. You can read that blog with all the information is there for you. Lastly, a software to look out for is Equipro. Now, they've just recently launched and it's designed especially for equine vet rehabbers. It ticks all the boxes except it's not yet cloud-based, but they are planning on adding this feature in the next 2 years. So I think we should watch this space. So I hope that you found this information useful. A great software can really increase your practice's overall efficiency. Whether you're mobile, solo, or in a team, there is a software out there that can help you achieve your goals. So utilizing the right software can take your rehab practice to the next level and better your patient and client experiences. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. I'm here every week talking to vet rehab therapists from all over the world about all things vet rehab. Don't forget to bookmark the next Vet Rehab Summit on Saturday, the 4th of November. Come and be a part of the world's largest online veterinary rehabilitation conference created specifically for you, the vet rehabber community. Onlinepethealth members get VIP complimentary access to the Vet Rehab Summit. For more information about continuing education for vet rehabbers, you can go to onlinepethealth.com.